Welcome everybody to the Bakery Bears video show, episode 297. And it's July now, isn't it? I'm thinking 30 days, April, June. Yes, it's the first. Oh gosh, I've no idea. Is it July? As I'm filming this, it's the end of June, so it must be just July as you are watching this. So happy July, everybody. Gosh, we're really into the summer now, aren't we? And my goodness, we've been feeling that here in the UK this past week, sort of 10 days. You might have read in the news, and because I think it has made news about our weather. Gosh, it's been hot. You know, I'm eternally grateful actually that I'm in the north of England, because where I am up here, I think the highest it got to was sort of maybe around 32, something like that, 32 degrees Celsius. But down south it was closer to 40 degrees Celsius, which is just crazy. It's been horrendous, honestly, and it just has affected everything. We're just not equipped in this country for either dealing with extreme heat or extreme cold. We have the same kinds of issues, you know, but thank goodness that's passed now. And the past couple of days, yesterday and today, here where I am, it's been kind of maximum of 20 degrees C, which is perfect. Thank you very much. I'll take that. I think it is going to get a bit warmer actually through this week, but even low 20s I'm happy with. You know, after this week, to be honest, anything up to 30 I'd probably say fair enough. Who knows? It seems to be the norm these days for these heat waves. This is the second heat wave we've had of this year, and it's only just July. We're only just into the summer, aren't we? But I'm absolutely not wishing the summer away. Absolutely not. I am enjoying the summer regardless of this horrendous heat that we've just had. I am enjoying the summer. I really am finding that I like a lot of light. This is so strange, isn't it? Because you won't believe I'm saying this, going by how me and Danny used to feel about the summer. But yeah, right now I'm enjoying all of the light and long evenings and all of that. I'm really enjoying that. I was watching in bed this morning when I was doing a bit of knitting. I was watching a vlog on YouTube. These things just randomly pop up, don't they? I can't even remember who it was, but it was about Swedish death cleaning. I do like to watch videos on cleaning, so that's why this probably popped up. And this particular woman was talking about Swedish death cleaning, and I've heard about this, and I don't see this as a morbid subject, by the way. And the way that she explained it as well, it really isn't. And I think the attitude of people in Sweden who embrace this kind of way of living, I suppose, is that they don't want to leave these jobs for the people that will be grieving at the time. You know, they don't want to have to leave them burdened with all of this stuff to do. And it's a gradual process. It's not like, do you know, like some people like to just blitz and declutter and get it done really quick. It's not like that at all, the way that she explained it. It's kind of like a way of living, I think. And it's a very gradual process that can be done over months and years. So I quite like that, because you know, I do now really have to consciously think that I don't want to leave, you know, when it's my time to go, let's say, I don't want to leave all of that work behind for my loved ones. So yeah, definitely food for thought. But what happened after I'd watched that was that, you know how it then throws up just random other things? It was actually one of our shows. This happens quite often, that I get one of our shows thrown up, an old one, and I thought, oh, let's pop it on while I'm doing a bit of knitting. Let's see Dan and let him keep me company, because I do watch our old shows fairly often actually. And this one was from 2019, and it was episode 126. if you want to go back and watch it. And it was really interesting because Dan and I were having a conversation about walking, and I think we filmed it. It was early summer, I think. Might have been end of May, beginning of June. It's not even summer, is it? And by the sounds of it, I hadn't walked for 2 or 3 days because the weather had been atrocious and it had really affected my brain. And Dan was saying how, you know, like the next day I decided I'm just going to go out. It was raining again. I just thought, you know, whatever, I'm just going to go. And Dan was commenting how it really affected me and he could really see a difference in me getting out and walking. You know, and he was having this whole conversation about how important it was for me personally and for him as well to get out every day. And for him it was running and for me it was walking. And I felt like he was talking to me because since, you know, since Dan left, I haven't walked like I used to. I've walked a lot, but it's been more task walking. You know, it's not been my purposeful going out, listening to my audiobook and just walking for that reason. You know, there's always been another reason. So I probably haven't walked like that since, I would guess, mid-December, and Dan stopped running at that same time as well. And it just made me think, do you know what? I need to listen to Dan. And yeah, I need to say this without getting emotional, but yeah, I just need to listen to him and get back out and get back to my walking, just to walk. You know, not I'm walking to the train station, I'm walking to the shops, I'm walking into town, you know, all of these task related things. So it was really nice to listen to him and yeah. So I am going to do that. And I decided, you know, there's no better place to start than today, is there? So once I've got this show all edited and it's uploading to YouTube, which takes an age, I'm going to go out for a walk, regardless of what time of day it is. You know, ordinarily, or historically I should say, I always went very first thing in the morning, but my morning routine is sort of different now, and I quite like how I've changed that. But there's nothing to stop me going out whenever I want during the day. You know, I make my own schedule. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm listening to Dan and I'm going to put my audiobook in my ears and I'm going to go out and just have a walk. So I'm looking forward to doing that. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I do watch our episodes quite a lot, and I feel lucky that we've got that, or that I've got that, I should say. Well, no, it is we, because there's Bryony and all of Dan's family as well. So that's really nice. Yeah, so that was actually a great way to start my day today, because it, you know, Dan made me think, and that's brilliant, isn't it? And it's just interesting also to look back at what I was knitting and what he was knitting. And he was knitting a cardigan. I can't remember the name of it. But it turned out, he finished it and it's upstairs in my wardrobe, but it turned out absolutely enormous. Was it a cardigan or was it a jumper? I think it was a cardigan. And it turned out way too big, but I've still got it, you know. So it's just nice to look back and to get re-inspired, I think, by things that we were doing. So that was lovely. So yes, in today's episode, I'm going to tell you right at the start. I'm not going to forget this time, because today we've got a really special extra segment. I've done something different. And I've done it for a couple of reasons. One, because I wanted to make this thing and it motivated me to get this thing made and not to have it just sort of lying around as something left to do. But also it links in with Summer of Stitching. So what we're going to do today together is just, I'll tell you first and then I'll explain a little bit. I'm making a project bag. So you're going to follow me along while I make a project bag. It's a really special project bag. Now, this is not a full tutorial at all. It's just a follow along with me while I make it. There's just not enough time to to film it, you know, within half an hour. I can't show how to fully make a project bag, especially this one, because it's a really special one which uses a bit of sort of patchworking in and things. But it ties in with Summer of Stitching because we're just about to start the bag make along for Summer of Stitching. Now that is a full tutorial over the course of 4 episodes. But for this one today, it is just a follow along with me, have some fun, watch me make this project bag. And it turned out fantastic, I've got to say. So I'm going to wait to show you the project bag and the project that I've put into it. I'll wait till after you've seen it. So that'll be an extra what's on my needles after you've seen me make the bag. I really hope you enjoy it. It's something different. So I've never done anything like this here, you know, on the video show. I've done lots of things like this for our Patreon community, but never here with you. So do tell me what you think, you know. Do you enjoy seeing things like this? It's just really good information for me to have going forward. You know, if I really want to make things that you all enjoy. So yeah, do let me know when we get to that, how you enjoy it. So that's all to come. Very exciting. I've also got something else really exciting to tell you, but I'll tell you that in 1 second as we move on to what's off my needles. So yes, it's been a busy 2 weeks. It's been a hot 2 weeks. I did also make a trip to York to see Bryony in the middle of a heat wave. I don't know what I was thinking. Well, I do. She really wanted me to go, and the train people were saying, do not travel on, gosh, it went on for about 4 or 5 days, I think. Do not travel on these days, you know, extreme heat warning. And I was going to go on one of these days. And I was like, oh gosh, you know, I shouldn't be going really. They're telling us not to go. But I was only going to York. It's half an hour on the train. I checked the trains before I left the house to make sure that everything was on time. I knew that coming back would be more of a problem than going, but there's trains up here, you know, this route there's so many trains by 3 different train operators. I figured that one of those would be all right for coming back. So do you know what? I went. It was hot, but I was so glad I went because Bryony was thrilled to see me. We had a lovely day, went out for some lunch, kept her company in the heat, and it was all fine. Trains were delayed a little bit, but you know what? It wasn't a problem. And, you know, sensibly, maybe I shouldn't have gone, but then also sensibly, I did check the routes and I made sure that the trains were all okay. And I had like backup plans in place. If one train wasn't working, was cancelled, I knew that there was another train operator that goes across the country rather than up and down that would have been okay. You don't need to know all of this, but anyway, all that to say that yes, I took a risk and I went, and I'm glad I went. So that was good. Yeah, so do you know what? Shall we crack on? Because I've got a lot to show you today, a lot to talk about, a lot of exciting things to talk about, plenty of progress, and yes, we need to get on, don't we? So the first thing I need to say is, Kay Jones, what's off your needles? Right. The very exciting thing I've got to tell you is that yes, this item is off my needles, but also I've put the pattern out. So this item is of course my Bananarama socks, and here they are. All finished. And I absolutely love knitting these. So thank you all so much for your feedback on the last video show about these socks. I was talking about the fact that there was a similar pattern, there's a historic pattern, a similar one that had been out there, and wasn't sure whether to put the pattern out and all of this. And I just got so many comments from you all. And I think every single one of you said, put the pattern out. You know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's a pattern that's come from your brain, is your own creation, and it's up to you all, isn't it, as to whether you want to buy this or not. Totally up to you. So I thought, well, why not? Because I really loved knitting these socks. I really loved coming up with the pattern and dyeing the yarn. You all saw me dye the yarn, and yeah, it was just a fun project. And I also realised it's been such a long time since I put out just a normal paid for pattern. Can't even remember the last thing. It was absolutely last year, but I just can't remember what it would have been. So it was a really good way of getting me back into that as well. Getting me back into that side of my work now that I really enjoy, the designing, the writing patterns, the getting these patterns out to you. And I think because I've just been so focused on everything else that I've had to learn and you know, find a way of fitting into my day, this side of my work kind of fell by the wayside. So it's just been really great to get back into it. So yes, the Bananarama socks are now available to purchase from Ravelry and Lovecrafts. I'll put links below in the description box if you want to go and purchase that and make your own banana socks. But I absolutely love these, the way they came out. You saw me dye the yarn for these, and I've got loads left actually. Look, got loads left. So there might even be enough, there's definitely enough for a shorty pair. So maybe I'll make myself a shorty pair of banana socks. That would be really fun, wouldn't it? Bananarama socks. And I was talking to a friend about these socks, and I actually was talking to Bryony about these a few weeks ago, and I mentioned the banana splits because that was a programme that was on in it must have been the 70s on the telly, and a friend I was chatting to mentioned the banana splits as well, saying it made her think of that. Does anybody remember the banana splits? Gosh, wasn't it an odd programme? What were those? I mean, it was people in costumes, wasn't it? But what were they? Were they animals? I suppose they were animals, weren't they? Really strange programme. But the music's iconic, isn't it? The music for the intro music for it is absolutely iconic, yeah. So whether it's banana splits, whether it's Bananarama, or just banana socks. And I saw someone, actually one of our patrons, knitting up this pattern in self-striping, and it looked brilliant. So yeah, the Bananarama socks, like I say, are out there now. So it's top down, it's got a 1x1 rib, and then it's got this lovely wide broken rib for the banana sort of pattern. Heel flap turn, gusset decreases, and my umbrella toe. Yeah. So yeah, that pattern is out there for you all now if you want to make your own Bananarama socks. Right, I do have one more finished object. Well, actually no, I do have one other thing, but you're going to have to wait to see that. But I've got one more knitted finished object, and I finished Bryony's short and sweet socks. You've not seen these for a while. They've been on the needles for quite some time, but I finished them and they're lovely. So this is another one of my patterns, the short and sweet, and it's this gorgeous little eyelet detail that I think looks like the seeds on a strawberry. I've knitted these socks for Bryony. I think this might be the 4th pair now. She loves these socks. This time I used a different yarn, and I'll tell you, this is what caused the delay in these being finished, because I wasn't mad on the yarn. It worked really well for the purpose because the colours were right, and I think it's going to be hard wearing. I just didn't enjoy knitting with it that much. And it's the Coop Knits Socks Yeah. Yay. Oh, I don't know. It's this one. Whoops, hang on. So it's Coop Knits Socks Yeah. And it's a 75/25, and it comes in 50-gram skeins, and you get 231 yards per 50 grams. So I used two colours. So the green was peridot. What is that? I know it's a stone, isn't it? Peridot or peridot, whatever. It's colour 114 is the green. And then the pinky red is 116, and that's ruby. So it's these two colours. And I've got a load left. But I think I said before when I showed these socks previously that I just wasn't mad on the yarn. It's a bit kind of stringy and uninspiring, let's say. And although I knew that it would make, or that the yarn would make a lovely pair of socks, and like I said, it's 75-25, so I know it's going to be hard wearing. It's nice and light, the yarn, so good for summer. It just was a bit blur to knit, I'll be honest. It was fine, but it wasn't the project that I grabbed for, you know, because I'm very tactile. I'm very tactile, I suppose is the right word, with my knitting. I like the way it feels in my hands. But this didn't. You get the message with this yarn, don't you? So I'm very glad that these are finished. So I'm going to take these to Bryony this week. I'll be going to see her again. So I'm going to take these to her and she'll be thrilled because weather, summer, yes. So those are all done as well. So yeah, 2 pairs of socks finished. I'm so happy. So happy that I finished those, because now that was my last sort of Bryony pair of socks, because that's 2 pairs of socks for Bryony there, because I'm going to give her the banana ones as well. So it's just left me at the moment with 1 pair of socks on the needles, and I will show you those. So yeah, very pleased to get 2 pairs of socks off my needles. So it's time now then for Kay Jones, what's on your needles? Right, where to start? Okay, I'm going to start with the wildflower blanket, because the next section has now gone out to our patrons and I've knitted it into the blanket and we're halfway. This is so exciting. And the other thing I did, no, I need to stay on target. Let's have a Star Wars reference. Stay on target. Let me show you the blanket first. Let's find the yarns this time. I've organised the yarns now as well because they were completely just thrown into the bag. This is one of the things I've done and I'll show you that in a second. Okay. So yes, we're halfway through the wildflower blanket now. So we've literally just started the decreases in this section. So let me show you where it's now up to. It's getting really difficult to show you because it's so big, but it's looking so beautiful. Here we go. Can you see this gorgeous pinky section? Oh, so pretty. And you can see here now, we've started the decreases. And the flower that I chose this time, I wanted pink. I just needed some pink. Don't I always need some pink? But the flower I went for this time is a red campion. And although it's called a red campion, really it's pink as far as I could gather. But I think it ranges from like deep pink through to lighter pink. But yeah, it was pink for me. But yeah, it's called a red campion. Very pretty little wildflower. I'll hold that up for you. Can you see that? Oh, and I just loved knitting this section. Oh my gosh, I think I knit it all in a day. I could not stop. So let me show you the yarns. So yeah, we had red campion, and then to go with that, we had the most adorable little bee called the buff-tailed bumblebee. Oh my gosh, such a gorgeous little bee. So these are the 2 yarns. So I've got the red campion and then that lovely bumblebee. so pretty. So for each of these, every time I'm dyeing them, I'm using 2 shades of dye for each colourway. And the pattern is going out to our patrons in sections, so every month at the moment it's going out. And within the pattern, what I've been doing is listing the inspiration, so the flower or the insect or animal or whatever it is, giving a little bit of information about them, and then also giving the dye colours as well, so that all the information is there. The intention with this blanket, as I've said before, was that it was going to be my year-long project here on the video show, but, you know, obviously just didn't work out that way. So it became a patron product, and I'm just doing it, project, and I'm putting it out every month, and I'm doing little videos to go along with it as well. And it's working well doing it that way. But look at that. And I love the bumblebee colour. Oh my goodness. It's so pretty. So as you can see, I've got them grouped now like this, and I've labelled them because I've been dyeing 3 minis at a time for this, only using one of them of each of the colours in the blanket, because I wanted to have 2 left over. But I'd just been throwing them all into my project bag, and it was just this mountain of minis, and I thought, if I don't organise this, I'm not going to know which one is which. It's going to be difficult for me to tell. So I thought, right, let's do it now. So I laid them all out, organised it all, grouped them all together and laid them all out. So I'll pop in a little shot because I think it's nice to see all of the colours now. We're at the halfway point. So there's 12 yarns that I've dyed up. So I laid them all out and thought, let's have a little look at them. Oh, and they look so pretty. Really, really lovely. So that was a good job done. I'm glad I did that. And I've got them all here, look. They're all in groups of 2. I love that one. That's the sheep one. I've shown you all these before, but that's the sheep one, which was really delicate. Oh my goodness. I started watching last night, Sheep Detective, is it called? Sheep Detectives. I was on Amazon Prime looking for something else, and it just popped up that I could just watch it. I didn't have to pay. And hasn't this only just been in the cinema? It's the one with Hugh Jackman. And I was like, gosh, this can't be right. I'm sure it was literally only just in the cinema. It was on Amazon Prime. I thought, right, okay, press play. Let's have a look at this. Because Bryony was going on there. She wanted to watch it. So I must tell her, actually, it's on Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I think. I think I've only watched like half an hour of it so far, and it's Hugh Jackman, who's adorable and lovely and fabulous, but then all of the sheep, they're all AI, aren't they? And I don't know, I suppose they've got to be because they all talk, and it's kind of cute. There's a little lamb that was born in the winter. He's the winter lamb. Oh, he's so cute, but nobody really talks to him because he was born in the winter. He's a bit of an outcast. So it's kind of cute, and yeah, but I don't know. Let me know if you've seen it. What do you think? Like I say, I've only just really started watching it. So yeah, I've got these all organised now, and I knit through. Honestly, it was like finish that section. It just absolutely flew because I love the way that those 2 yarns went together. You can see the little spots of black from the bumblebee and the gold as well, but then the pink, and they just blend together so beautifully. So yeah, this is now a great big thing. It's going to be a square blanket. Oh, but so pretty, isn't it? I think it's just so pretty. Yeah, so I was really pleased to get that to the halfway point and start decreasing now. So that was really cool. And my aim with this blanket is to have it finished sometime in November, really as early as possible in November, because I need to keep December completely free because Advent calendar and brain overload and still not entirely sure what I'm doing. Yeah, so this will be wrapped up sometime, I'm hoping early November. We'll see how it goes. So that's my lovely wildflower blanket. Right, the next thing I've got is a pair of socks, and like I say, currently this is the only, well, it is the only pair of socks on the needles, but I've also got a design pair of socks as well going on. But this is the only one really that right now I'm able to show you. Feels kind of like, ooh, that's a bit bonkers. I've only got one pair of socks on the needles. And it's the peachy ones that I started last time, the fuzzy peach. I haven't done a massive amount more on these because I wanted to get those other pairs finished. But also the heat has really played its part. I know, you know, anybody that suffers with this kind of weather where you've not got air conditioning, the last thing you want to do is hold a big old ball of wool in your hands, isn't it, when it's boiling? So I haven't done a great deal on these, but I have put the heel in now and I'm on the foot. So I've put in, let me show you the front of the sock actually. Stop waffling, Kay, and show the front of the sock. There you go. And then the back there has got the heel. I've put in my butterfly heel and I'm working down the foot. 9-inch circulars, as you can see. Lovely, lovely. And yeah, I've added in this little subtle texture just to give a hint of that sort of fuzzy peachness. And it's really nice to knit. I was knitting this actually on Sunday afternoon. I decided to put a film on. And I watched the third Narnia film, The Dawn Treader, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Do you know what? I loved it. This is so funny because I've now watched all 3. Is there only 3? Is there any more? I don't know. I think there's only 3. Only 3 I'm aware of. And honestly, my least favourite is probably The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Doesn't that sound strange? I love the first kind of half of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. But then do you know when the snow melts and, you know, there's all of the rest of it going on? I don't know. I kind of lose a bit of interest. I think I just like it when it's all snowy and, you know, the White Witch is like raging around and all of that. But yeah, Prince Caspian, me and Bryony watched together and we loved. And then I've just watched this one and also really loved it. So I sent Bryony a message because she's just coming back today actually as I filmed this. Her and her boyfriend are coming back from Edinburgh. They've just been there for a little holiday. So I sent her a message and said, oh my gosh, I've just watched it and it's really good. I think you'll enjoy it. So I was working on these socks. Isn't it funny how you remember what you were doing when you were knitting that thing? It's really strange, isn't it? It must. Yeah, I know that we're all like this, aren't we? Because I hear so many people saying this. That, you know, you pick something up and I can remember what I was doing the last time I was working on it. It's like it kind of absorbs what was going on in your brain, what you were watching or doing or listening to kind of comes from your brain through your hands and into the project. That's sort of what it feels like. So this sock for me feels like Narnia because that's what I was watching when I was working on it. Yeah, so strange that, isn't it? But I'm really enjoying it. And what I might do actually with this pattern is this might become a platinum pattern for next year. I think that would be lovely. Maybe in June because that's summer, isn't it? And this is a short pair and peaches are ripe in the summer. So yeah, I think when I've finished these, I might write the pattern up, hold on to it and pop that out next year as one of the platinum designs. I think that would be lovely. But thank you all so much as well for your feedback about the peach coloured yarn that I dyed. You all really loved it and gosh, thank you all so much. I'm just so thrilled that you enjoyed it. Again, I wasn't sure doing 2 dyeing things back to back, if you like. I thought, oh gosh, will people be bored of me getting the dye pots out? But you absolutely weren't, or at least you said you weren't. So thank you all so much. And there will be more, don't worry. I will be back in the dye pots, back in the kitchen again, I'm sure, quite soon. So yeah, I'm just working down the foot of these now. Very much enjoying them. I decided just to do 2 rounds of the green at the top. I've used the green for the heel, and then I'm just going to do the rest peach, and I think that'll look nice. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with this one. And when I do the 2 rounds at the top here, I don't do anything special on the colour changeover. I just pick up the next colour and just start doing the rib. I don't do that thing where you can knit a plain, you know, just knit around when you change colour in the rib, because if you do that, I know that it means you don't get those little pearl bumps. Do you see here? The colour switch. You don't get that if you just knit that plain round when you change colour. But I have tried that and I didn't like it because it's a detail, but you know I'm a detail person, and I know that this wouldn't bother a whole load of people, and that's fine. You know, you choose the method that suits you the best. But what I didn't like was that you get that pearl ridge on the inside of your sock, don't you, of course, because you are knitting around, so you get the pearl ridge all the way on the inside. But also, if I held the sock like this, when I'd done that, you would notice it in the fabric. It kind of blips out a bit here because the tension is different on a plain knit round. You don't get that sucky inness. So it kind of goes out a little bit. And I know it's only a round. I did say I was a detail person. But personally, I don't like that. So that's why I don't do it. And it doesn't bother me seeing the little blip of colour. That doesn't bother me. But each to your own, you know. You choose whatever method is best for you. It's lovely that we've got so much choice. So I'm using 2.5mm ChowGoo 9-inch red lace. Yeah, they are red lace, aren't they? These are my favourite 9-inch. I've tried loads of them. When I discovered that actually I did like 9-inch circulars, I tried loads, and some of them I absolutely loathed. I've done reviews on them for our patrons, but these ones I loved, and these were the ones that I stick to now. So yeah, I've got that sock on the needles, and I feel like now I need to rewatch all of the Narnia films just so that I can knit these socks, because that's the feeling I get. It's so weird, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I must show you the bag that I'm keeping this sock in. When I went to York to see Bryony last week, we had a little shop even though it was boiling. And we were walking down Coney Street, which if you know York, it's one of the main kind of shopping streets. It's a nice big wide street. It's got the big shops there. So like, I think there's a H&M, there's Boots, WH Smith's. Oh, what's it called now? TG Jones? But it's WH Smith's, isn't it? Let's face it. Next used to be there, but Next has now moved. There's HMV, you know what I mean. It's got all of the big shops. Waterstones is on there. And we spotted a new shop, and Bryony said, oh gosh, that wasn't even open when I was here last week. They were doing it all up. And it's it's called York Curios. And it's sort of, I guess, it's more aimed at the tourist market. It had loads of York themed things in there. But it was unlike the other tourist shops in York, because a lot of them it's sort of cheap and quite nasty things. Do you know what I mean? This was lovely. And we went in and I bought 2 of these little bags. Bryony bought one as well. I bought a fridge magnet as well, because it had this beautiful image of York on it. It was really lovely. Bryony bought something else as well, and the lady who was running it was lovely. She was telling us that it's all her own design, the products that are in there, she's designed them all. She was really lovely, so best of luck to her. But look at this adorable bag. Isn't it cute? So if you don't know this about York, it's really linked with ghosts. It's sort of it's got a reputation, I think, there's quite a few places in York that have a reputation for being haunted, but also in recent years the York Ghost Merchants shop, I've got some here I can show you, It's the York Ghost Merchants. They make little ghosts, and it's on the Shambles in York, and they've also got a little other shop as well, which is always less busy. And they make these little ghosts. Look, I've got a few of them here. If you're from York or you've been to York, you will know this. But look, they make these. That's a small one, and this one is a large. And they're made out of clay, I suppose. But then they do special editions which are made out of different things. And it's become this massive tourist attraction, right? When you go on like a weekend or in the summer, the queue down from the Shambles shop, it's all the way down, round the corner. It's absolutely crazy because it's a tiny little shop. Brilliant for them, absolutely, you know, brilliant. But look, this one's quite cute. You can see his eyes, look. And Bryony loves these, as you can imagine. And two of these are mine and 2 are Dan's. So I brought them over to my desk to keep each other company. And yeah, so York, like I say, has become quite famous for ghosts and things. And I think particularly so since this shop opened. So hence all the cute ghosts on this bag. And I bought another one, and I'll show you that in Endy Bits as well. I haven't put a project in that yet. But Bryony got one that just had ghosts on. It was like a navy blue background with a load of cute ghosts. And she loves it because it's actually a really good size. Do you know, she's just popping into town and she needs a few bits like, you know, toiletries from Boots, or, I don't know, a bottle of milk or something like that. It's actually a brilliant size for shopping, and it's got like a magnetic clasp thing, and I think these were $9.99, which I think is a really good price for a bag these days. It's got a pocket inside. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that. So if you are from York or you're visiting York, I would really recommend that you pop in there. So that's my socks. Okay, I've got one more thing to show you right now because there's something else exciting in a little bit. But this is just a small, this is just to let you know really a small update on the ripple blanket, on Dan's ripple blanket. Yes, so here we go. I've done 3 more stripes since I last showed this last time, which is not a huge amount, but it's now big on my lap, and this heat, no, it just wasn't happening. But I have got 3 more stripes done, and I'm not far off finished, so I've got 7, 8, 9. I've got 7 more stripes to do. So this is Dan's Make a Ripple blanket. Oh, it's just so lovely. Look. And it's really long now, look. Oh. And I'm thrilled to tell you that this is now in testing. I've got some of our lovely patrons that are helping me test knit it, and all is going well so far. So yeah, that's where we're at. I do have a date for when this will be published. I think I said last time, didn't I? It's a very special and significant date for a couple of reasons. So I won't give you the exact date, but I will tell you that it's going to be next month. So it's in August, and it's sort of early to mid-August, so there's not that much time left to wait until this is published. I'm hoping, well, yeah, the next time I show you this, it will be finished, because I can easily knit a stripe a day. So really, I could get this finished in a week. Wouldn't be a problem. So maybe I'll have it done for next time, depending on what else I've got to do. But if it's not next time, it will definitely be the time after this will be finished. And I was saying to one of my testers, actually, I'm going to feel a bit lost when I've finished it. I think because this has just got such significance, and yeah, and it's really helped me. Here I go. It's really helped me channel, channel all of those feelings into something. You know, they always say, don't you, to get out of your head and into your hands, and that has really, really worked with this project. And do you know what I was just saying about objects having feeling and kind of, you know, absorbing what was going on at the time? And oh gosh, okay. You know, it could be that this would have, you know, there was a chance that it would have negative feelings around it, but it doesn't at all. I'm a disaster. Yeah, it doesn't have negative feelings. It's got really, really positive feelings. Yeah, apparently I still can't talk about it right now. I can and I can't. It's so strange. You know, I'll be okay and then the next minute I'm not. I know a lot of you get that. Yeah, so all that to say, it's in testing. It's all going well. And yeah, this pattern will be out for you all to purchase if you would like to, early to mid-August. And I'll tell you all about the date and the significance and everything closer to the time. But it's not that long actually, is it? It's really not that long. Gosh, yeah. And the other thing I want to say about this, I have mentioned it a few times, but it is absolutely still my intention that for the first couple of weeks when I launch this pattern, however much I make in profit, I'm going to donate to the hospice. Yeah. Okay. I got through it. So it's very much time now for you all to go off and watch me make a project bag. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to show you. The bag here is on the floor. I need to show you, and I need to show you what's inside it. Oh, it's another project that might make me tearful. So I'm going to go and gather myself. I'm going to make a cup of tea while you all go off and watch me make this lovely project bag. Hey everybody, I'm here to make a project bag. This is going to be fun. I thought you'd like to follow along with me as I make this bag. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making a bag using the cross stitch that I recently stitched. That's the letter D. Do you know the one with the teddy bear on? You do all know the one. I finished it and I want to make it into a project bag. And I thought to myself, well, why not film it and why not let you follow me along with that? Now, this is not going to be a full tutorial in any way. It's that, you know, that would just take way too long to actually film the whole process. This is just more of a, you know, watch me as I make it kind of a thing. So I'm going to show you, just briefly show you the fabrics and things like that, and then we're just going to get cracking. But what I've got here actually is a finished front panel of another bag that I'm going to be making for Bryony. I'm safe to show you this. She doesn't watch this, and if she does, it's fine. You know, it's not a problem. But I finished the front panel for Bryony using the same method that I'm going to be using to make the front panel for this bag. So this one, if you remember, I cross-stitched the little Halloween-y cross-stitch that I finished fairly recently, and I've patchworked it into the front panel of the bag. So that's what it looks like. Hopefully you can see that. And yeah, so that's the cross stitch. If I hold it a bit closer, that might be better for you. And isn't it lovely? So this is all ready to make into a bag now. I've had this front panel completed for a couple of weeks and I've just not had time to make it into the bag yet, which is fine because this will be for a birthday in October, so there's no rush. But I just wanted to get the panel done so that I didn't have the cross stitch kind of lying around. But this is what I'm aiming for today with the cross stitch I'm working with. I don't know what size of a bag this is going to come out at. I'm just going to patchwork it in and then we'll just see what size it comes out at. I'm not going to be like giving you measurements or anything like that. This really is just to follow along with me, because these bags are individual, because it really just depends on the size of the cross stitch, and then it also depends on how I decide to patchwork it together. They are really one-offs, but yeah. So this is what I'm aiming for with the front panel. So let me show you, let me pop that down there. So here's my finished cross stitch. I'll be trimming this down and then patchworking it into the front panel, and then I'm going to make a zipped project bag. So the fabrics that I've got here, I did show some of these on a video show recently, so I won't go into them in detail because you'll see them as, you know, once the bag's completed, you'll see them. But I've got this stack of fabrics here, and these are made up of, it's a variety of things. Some of them are leftovers from project bags that I've made down in the past, and some of them are new fabrics that I've purchased that just, you know, I just either reminded me of Dan, or, you know, they had love hearts on, that kind of a thing. So yeah, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this down, and then I'm going to decide which fabrics I'm going to sew this onto effectively. And then, you know, I'll then show you what this looks like when I've got that part of the process finished. I've got my machine all ready. I use, if you're interested, I use a Janome. This machine is really quite old now. I've had it, oh gosh, I don't know, between 10 and 15 years. It's a Janome Sewist 525S. It's brilliant. It's never let me down. Ha! Touch wood. So I've got a full bobbin of thread, I've changed my needle, we're all ready to go. So I'm going to get my cutting board out, my cutting mat out, and we're going to get going and make the front panel. Right, I think this is what I've decided on for the front panel. We've got Tigger, we've got Back to the Future. Is that upside down? Possibly, yeah, that was upside down. We've got some Pooh Bear heads, and we've got the Pemberley fabric. So yeah, I like this. I wanted to keep it a bit lighter on the front, and I think these colours sort of coordinate with the letter and also the little bears, and we've got a bear here, and then the blue from the Tigger fabric blends in nicely there. And also this Pemberley one, this is just going to be a strip at the top, so I think this kind of print will look nice in that format. So what I'm going to do now, and I've cut this down as you can see, so I will start, I think, from this edge. I'll have to look at one of the other bags I've made, but I think I'm going to start from this edge, and I'm just going to sew a piece on that's the same depth here as the cross stitch piece, but I'll make it probably longer than I need it to be. What I tend to do is I make all the pieces that I patchwork on like longer and wider than they need to be, and then once I've got the panel all sewn together, I can then trim it down to the size of bag that I'm aiming for. So I'm going to start here, so I'll do this side and then along the bottom, and then this side, and then the top. So it's sort of like a log cabin, a workaround in a log cabin sort of style. So yeah, I'm going to now, what I've got to do now is cut these pieces to sort of size. I'll do it as I go. So I'll do this one first, then this, then this, then this. Sew them on, give it all a nice press, and then we'll come back and let's see what we've got, shall we? Okay, so I've got my first panel ready. It's going to be like this. So, whoops. Make sure I do right sides together. So I'm going to get that sewn. Before I do that, I'm going to do the thing that I always do first when I make a project bag, and that is, if I can speak, I sew the handle. So I've cut a little piece of the Tigger fabric for that, because Tigger is really significant for Dan and I. So yeah, so the handle is going to be Tigger, so I'm going to get to sew that first. And then we will get that first panel sewn in place. I've got the window open. If you hear some ambient noise outside, it's just because it's boiling. I've got the window open. That's the handle. Really pretty. Oh, lovely. I'm excited now. It's underway and I'm excited. Right, let's get this first panel sewn. Okay, now I'm going to sew it with the back of the cross stitch side facing me, because then you can sew down one of the lines of the cross stitch and it gets it really nice and straight. So what I've done is I'm going to leave a margin of 6 squares of cross stitch all the way around. So I cut it so that it was 12 squares on the margin. That gives me a nice edge and see, what's it called? Seam, with a 1/4 inch seam. Yes, I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, so I'm going to sew down like the 6th line of squares going down. Just keeps your stitches nice and straight as well. You have to concentrate a little bit because you've got to keep your needle on that line, but go slow and it's fine. I'm talking to you as if you're going to make this. You're obviously not, but yeah. So I just count 6 across and I'm going to mark it just so that I'm starting in the right point. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I'm always kind of holding my breath a little bit when I do these, because especially with this, because it's a 16 count Ada, so it's a bit closer. But let's have a look. Yeah, so there we go. I always tend to do it a bit longer on one side because I find that fabric can move a little bit, can't it? So what I do is that after I've sewn it like this, I'll trim that side down. When I get to that point, I'm actually going to do the bottom piece now, and that is straight, but there's lots of trimming involved, and this, you know, I don't know if I'm doing this the way that another person would do it, but it's how I make sure that everything is square and that my fabric is in line and things like that. I'd rather do things a little bit bigger and then trim it square rather than sort of guess. Right, so I'm going to go give this a press, and then oops, I'm not going to drop it, and then we're going to do that bottom section next. Right, we've got our next panel in place. Time to sew. Okay, I'm off the cross stitch piece now and I'm onto the 2 pieces of fabric together. So all that I do when I get to this bit is I've got it all clipped. I'm just kind of clocking where the edge of my presser foot is when it comes off the cross stitch fabric, and I'm just going to keep it that distance away all the way down. And we should be relatively straight, hopefully. Okay, so you can see the process here, can't you? There we go. So we've now got that third, it's not third, it's the second, wish it was the third. Now got that second panel in place, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm working around like that. So what I'm going to do now is I will continue around and I'll finish this front panel. So I've got 2 more sides to do, and each time I press this down, so the next side is this one here. I will add on a piece here and then the top, and then we'll have a look at what size we've got. It's going to be too big for the bag that I want, but as I said before, I like it to be a big piece, and then I can cut it down, and then I know what size of fabric I need to cut all my other pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this front panel, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, it is some time later. I don't know how much time has passed actually. I don't know what the time is currently, but a little bit of time has passed. I've now completed the front panel. I've also got the back panel sorted. I'll show you that and explain that in a second. And I've cut out the lining fabric as well. I've found a zip that I want to use, and I'm actually now ready to start sewing the bag. So when I said that this sort of first portion of the bag making takes just as long as the actual making of the bag, I was not kidding. I think I've been doing this a couple of hours now, but you know what? That's absolutely fine. So let me show you the panels and then I'll explain. So here's the front one that we've been working on, and I've also now attached fusible fleece to the front and the back panels. Oh, isn't it lovely? Oh, I'm really pleased with how it's come out. So the finished size of this piece is 15 inches by 12 inches. It did come out bigger than that when I'd finished piecing it all together, and then I just kind of measured it and I looked at other bags that I'd made and measured those. But ultimately I didn't want to cut off too much fabric, because this is probably going to sound weird, but I feel like the bag's telling me the size it wants to be. I don't know, does that sound a bit woo-woo? Probably. But because of the sentiment around this as well, and the fact that, you know, Dan would make garments a lot which required a bigger bag, all of those things are sort of guiding me to this size. So it is going to be, is obviously going to be bigger than a sort of sock project bag. And I'm not sure at the minute the size that it's going to look. I would say it's probably a medium size. But I do have an idea of what I want to start and what I want to put in this, and the size will actually be really good for that. So that's my front panel. When it came to sewing this top one, the Pemberley one, the cross stitch ends up in the middle of the panel, if you see what I mean. It goes over the top of it. But all I do in that instance is I line up on the back. I find that sixth square, I line it up, and then I just draw a line onto the fabric so that I know where to sew that's going to get me at the right point when I get to the cross stitch. Do you know what I mean? I hope I'm explaining that right. Yeah, so all sewn together. I've got a fusible fleece ironed onto the front and the back panel now, all ready to make the bag. And I've done the back panel too, and this is what that looks like. So I decided to use a couple of fabrics. This owl one, I got this owl one because it reminded me of the owl bag that I made Dan years ago, and he always said it was his favourite project bag. He's still got a project in. And I just wanted some owl fabric that made me think of that. I didn't have any of the original fabric left, but this one kind of reminds me of it. It's the Lewis and Irene fabric, I believe. And then I've just put love hearts either side because, yeah, just because, love hearts. So I really like that. That's the back panel. And then for the lining, now I was going to use a grey love heart, sort of Scandi love heart print. I did show it on the video show, but generally speaking I prefer a lighter coloured fabric for the lining of my bag. Do you know what, I'm just going to shut the window because I don't know if you can hear the blind is kind of banging on the wall. I'm sorry if you could hear that in those few minutes. It's really turned breezy, but that noise is irritating me, so I'm going to shut the window. Okay, my apologies if you heard that noise in those few minutes. So yeah, the lining fabric, I decided to go with a different one because I prefer a lighter coloured fabric. So I had a look through my stash and I came across a fabric that I bought probably last year, I think. I believe it's a Liberty quilting cotton, and it's got roses on it, and it made me think of Dan's love of the roses in our garden. Now, it's not the colour of the roses in our garden, but actually the colour is the colours are the two colours that Dan would wear the most. It's blue and green. So this is that fabric. It's so pretty, isn't it? So I've got 2 pieces there cut out as well for the lining. I've also got the zip here. I've gone a bit mad with the colour of the zip. I could have done white, I could have done pale blue, and they would have looked fine and probably blended more with the bag. But do you know what? I've gone with bright pink. I don't need to say why, do I? Because, okay, I'm not going to get emotional over a zip. But I probably will. So yeah, pink for me. I don't need to say any more, do I, about that? I can't believe I'm getting emotional over the colour of the zip. So we've now got all of our pieces ready to start making the bag. So the first thing to do is to insert the zip. Now, as I said before, this is not a full tutorial at all. I'd be here all day. But yeah, I'm going to insert the zip now. And the way that I sew the zip in, you're going to laugh at me, I use Pritt Stick to help me along the way. And this is probably completely unorthodox to use this, but you know what? I've used this for however long I've been making bags, and it really helps me place the zip in and keep it in place. You can use pins, you can use clips, but I always use this. You never see it, I only use a little bit. It ends up on the inside, you know, where you've sewn, you never see it, but it really helps me. So that's what I'm going to be using to get my pink zip in. And do you know what? I think it's going to be lovely. Look, you only see a little bit of the zip anyway, don't you? But yeah, I wanted to put the pink zip in. The size of zip, this one's actually 18 inches, but a 16 inch would have been fine because the bag is 15 inches wide, so a 16 inch would have been okay. This one happens to be 18, that's fine. So I'm going to get on now. I'm going to get this all placed together for the zip, and then I'll show it you all kind of sandwiched together, and then we'll get the zip sewn in. Okay. I've got my first half of my zip sandwich. Oh, it's nearly lunchtime. Yeah, we'll get the zip in and then I'll pause for lunch. But yeah, I've got a lining piece, my zip, and then a front piece, right sides together. So I'm going to get this half of the zip sewn in. I'm just going to sew straight down the zip here with 1/4 inch seam. I use a 1/4 inch seam for everything. Oh, it feels good to be actually making the bag now. It takes such a long time to make that front panel, but do you know what? I was going to try not to ramble too much on this video. But, you know, when I was putting this front panel together, it's just so nice because I was just thinking about Dan, you know. And what I was thinking about actually, because it's a hot sunny day today, and I often think, what were we doing this time last year? And I look back in my planner because, you know, I would always put in my planner the work things I'd done, but also, you know, anything we'd been doing, you know, in the house or personally or whatever. And I looked back, and at exactly this time last year, we were actually in York. We were packing up Bryony's first university halls room and moving her home for the summer, because she was in halls for the first year and you can't stay in those over the summer. You're only allowed in them during term time, and you can only stay in halls for the first year. So we were packing up her room and bringing her home, and it was boiling. I remember it was also absolutely roasting, and it's now also roasting. It's like a carbon copy of this time last year. But yeah, that was a really, gosh, it was a really busy few days packing up her room. You know, it was hot and sweaty, and oh my gosh, her room was tiny, the one she was in before, absolutely tiny. But she'd managed to pack so much stuff in it in the space of those few months that she'd been there. So it was a task, you know, to get all of that out. It was also really emotional because she'd become really attached to it, as sort of slightly grim as it was. It's just what halls are like, I think. Yeah, she'd become really attached to it. So it was really emotional for all of us. And, you know, the weather and everything. Oh gosh, yeah, so it's funny, isn't it? And like I say, I do that often. I look back and think, what were we doing this time last year? And I think now, gosh. Okay, enough waffle. I'm going to get on now. Let's get this zip sewn in. Lovely. That went very well. And now I will go and glue in. You all think I'm bonkers, don't you? But let me tell you, it's brilliant. It's the way forward, if you ask me, for putting zips in, using a bit of Pritt stick. So what I will do now, so look, that's the first side sewn in. So now that gets folded over like that. I do the same thing here with the other two pieces and get that sewn in. So I will go and sandwich that together and then we'll sew the second side. Here we go then. So look, our zip's in on the front, and then the lining. I love these blue roses, aren't they pretty? And actually the pink zip goes really well with the love hearts. I'm trying to show you this, it's impossible. They go really well with the love hearts, don't they? Or the zip goes really well with the love hearts. What I'm going to do now, before I break for lunch, I am going to stop for lunch. Shall we see what time it is? It's 12:20. So it's very much lunchtime for me. But before I break, I am just going to top stitch this. So basically what I'll do is run a line of stitching down here really close to the zip on both sides. And before I do that, I'm going to give this all a really good press, just to make sure it's all flat and that you've sort of pulled out those edges against the zip. And then yeah, I'm going to run 2 lines of top stitch down there. And then once I've done that, yes, let's have a little break for some lunch, and then I'll come back after. For you, it'll be straight away. But yeah, then I'll come back and we'll finish off the bag. So top stitch first, and then we'll move on to get the actual bag all sewn together. Okay, I am fueled by scrambled eggs on toast, which was very delicious, and I'm all ready now to start getting this bag finished. Bryony just texted me actually when I was eating my lunch. Her and her boyfriend are away on a little holiday at the moment, and they've gone to a zoo, and oh my goodness, Bryony's not been to a zoo since she was little. I don't even know if she'd remember. I think it was Chester Zoo was the last zoo that we went to, and that was years and years ago. I mean, she, like I said, I don't think she'd even remember. But she sent me some pictures of the giraffes, and she just put on it, oh my gosh, I got so emotional looking at the giraffes, because you might all know about her precious Goffy, her soft toy that's a giraffe that she's had since she was born. She's got 2 of them actually. Well, she's got several of them, but 2 that are really special. And yeah, I mean, we have seen, like I said, we have seen giraffes, because I do remember seeing giraffes, but she won't remember. So yeah, she sent me some pictures and she was just like, oh gosh, you know, so that's just so lovely. It's just brightened my day, knowing that she's having such a lovely day with her boyfriend. But yeah, we're also having a lovely day, aren't we? I am having a lovely day because I'm making this bag, my gorgeous Dan bag. So yeah, I'm having a lovely day actually, and I'm very excited now that we're going to get this bag finished. So the next thing to do is to sew all the way around. So to make it into a bag basically. So to do that, what we do is we fold like the inside to the inside and the outside to the outside. So we're going to sew it like this. I'm going to insert the handle at this point, and we're going to sew all the way around, leaving a gap here on the lining, you know, a gap sort of here, so that we can turn it right side out. The most important thing to remember when you get to this stage is you've got to open the zip. If you don't open the zip, you know, not all the way, you know, maybe, I don't know, 2/3 of the way, you can't turn it the other way around. So yeah, I'm going to get it all pinned and marked out, get my handle inserted, open the zip, and then we're going to sew all the way around. Right, let's get sewing. Okay, that's sewn all the way around. We can take our pins out now. And what we're ready to do now is to box the corners. So first of all, I'll just trim off the ends of the zip, here, and then the handle as well. Just trim those off. And then I'm going to box the corners. And the way that I do it is I basically just draw a square here in each of the corners. I cut out that square and then I sort of fold it over and sew those corners together, and that creates the box corners. So I just need to work out what size of a box corner. I think, going by a bag I made recently, I did a 2-inch corner. This is bigger. I think I'm going to go for a 2¼ inch corner. I think that'll be fine actually. So yeah, I'm going to go and measure those out. I just basically draw them in, you know, using a quilting ruler, cut them out, and then I'll show you how then I'm going to fold those over and sew them to make the box corners, and then we're nearly finished when we've done that. So excited. Here we go then. We've cut out those corners. And to form the sort of boxed square corner, what you do is you just go in and you fold it the opposite way, like this. I will make sure that's all lined up with the seams and everything. And then you sew down that corner with a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to do that for all 4 corners. And then we can turn it the right side out. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Where are my pins? I need to get on with this. Right. We've boxed our corners. Look, you see that? We can turn it the right way around. Are you excited? I'm really excited. I feel like I should have a cup of tea or something with me. I haven't. Maybe I'll have one afterwards when this is all finished to celebrate. So there we go. And then I just go in with my hand inside and just push out those corners. I'm deliberately not looking at it right now. I'm just focusing on the corners like that. I'm still not fully looking at it right now because we've got one more job to do, and that is to sew that opening closed. Just got some little frayed edges there. I'm just tucking those in. And I do this on the machine. I know some people like to do it by hand, but I do not. No one's going to see this inside the bag. I'm just going to sew it. So yeah, I've just tucked those edges in like that and just finger press it. And now I'm just going to sew that closed. We can turn our machine off. I'll move everything out of the way so I can show you this properly, because I'm going to go and give it a press. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, I love it. I'm not going to show you till I've pressed it. I'm going to keep you in suspense. Oh, but I love it. Oh, it's so sweet. Right, stop looking at the bag. I'm going to go and give it a really good iron. I'll clear away a little bit and then we'll have a look at the finished bag. We've finished. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Do you want to see the bag? Here we go. And the back. Oh, I love it. It's a great size. Oh, I'm so glad I went with those roses inside. I just love it. So yeah, it's a great size. What size has it come out? Oh, I've not got my quilting ruler here. But it'll just be a bit smaller, won't it? So the fabric was 15 by 12, wasn't it? And this is the size that it's created. Medium size, I would say. And it's going to be perfect for so many things. As you know, I like to knit a lot of blankets, so it would be a great size for a blanket. Not necessarily when it got like really big, but certainly at the beginning to the middle part of the project, it would fit in there. Scrappy projects would be brilliant in this, because if you've got loads of yarns, I would probably use this as well. You know, if I was going away and I wanted to put a couple of projects in it, would do that. I'll basically use it for anything. I would even put a pair of socks in this, I'll be honest, because this is just going to be a bag that I will use all the time, because of the meaning behind it, you know. It's just so lovely. And I love that you can see the Back to the Future there across the bottom. And we've got Tigger and Pooh, and then Pride and Prejudice. You know how much Dan loved Pride and Prejudice. I only introduced him to it a couple of years ago, didn't I? Yeah, I love it. So I really hope you've enjoyed just following me along with this. I've no idea how long this is going to be. I'm going to have to edit the dickens out of it. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that, actually. But yeah, by the time you watch it, all that will have been done, of course. So maybe I've inspired you to have a go at making a project bag. That would be fun, wouldn't it? But yeah, for now, I am going to just add a little bit of ribbon to the zipper pull. I've got a box of really thin ribbon. I'm not sure how thick it is. It's maybe, 5mm. I think it's probably 5mm. I'm just looking at a ruler over there. It's really thin and it fits through the eye of the zip, and it just makes it easier to pull. So I'll choose a colour and I'll add that to it. Really hope you've enjoyed that, following me along. A little bit different today, and I thought that would be nice. And I've got this beautiful Dan inspired project bag. Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah, I love it. Okay, so let's see now what project, that's going to be exciting, isn't it? Yes, let's go and have a look now at what project I've popped into this gorgeous bag. What did you think? Did you enjoy it? Oh, I so enjoyed it. Do you know what? And I think I said on it, didn't I? I did have a really good day making that bag with you. It didn't take me all day, but I would say I was working on it from about 9:30 till about 2:30, the whole filming and making of it. And then I spent a couple of hours afterwards editing it and everything. So it was a really good day and a really satisfying thing to do, because I ended up with this bag at the end of it, and it's just lovely. I'll show you again right now. And you kept me company while I did it. You know, I really loved doing it. So do tell me if you enjoyed it. But yeah, here's the bag. Oh my gosh, I've so loved using this bag and the project I put in it. Oh, yeah, okay. So here's the bag again. And the back. It's just lovely. The only thing with the cross stitch, right, and I couldn't get this out, do you know, because it's been folded for like 26 years. Did I talk about this? I can't remember. I did try to get the fold out originally, because usually all I have to do is sort of wet it, and that, you know, wetting it sort of evens it out. And I tried to do that with it, and I've since sort of wet it again, just the little areas that are creased, and I can't get it out. And I think it's just one of those creases, you know, 26-year-old crease, you know. But I think it's fine. Maybe over time that will ease. Can you see? I don't know if you'll see it or not. I'm sure you can, but I don't know. Can you see the crease running down the cross stitch? But maybe, like I say, now it's flat. Maybe it'll take another 26 years to flatten out. But in any case, I think it's lovely. So yeah, first of all, I finished the cross stitch, and it was a bit of a fiddle, I've got to say. It's on 16 count Ada, and there was lots of like a stitch over here and a stitch over here and a stitch over here. Do you know, is there a name for that? I don't know. So it was more time consuming than it probably should have been, but it was lovely as well. And it just came out so cute, didn't it? And someone commented as well, and you're quite right, that it's a little red-headed bear on a skateboard, you know, like Back to the Future. And yeah, so that was lovely. And yeah, we patchworked it, didn't we, into that lovely panel on the front, and then made it into this great size bag. And I added the little ribbon thing that I mentioned. And I've loved using it. It was totally the right decision to put the pink zip on it. Yes. And you know what I've got in this bag? You're going to laugh at me when I tell you what I've got in this bag. I showed you a few episodes ago, didn't I? The crocheted cushion that I finished. And it's been sat on my bed and I've been loving it. I've got it here just to show you again. And I love this thing. Not just because of the meaning behind it, and I explained all of that before, and you know, you can go back and watch if you want to hear all about it, but also it's just a lovely thing. It's just a lovely thing to look at on the bed. It's very tactile, and I love giving it a hug. And yeah, so this is the one I finished, if you remember. And this was made using mainly row 1 yarn minis. There's also some pixie yarn in there, and there's also some Wollington yarn in this one. But I would say the majority is row 1 yarns. Is it row 1 yarn? Yeah, I think so. You know the ones that I mean. And I just got a real longing to make another one, because it did bring me a lot of comfort working on it. And you know, at first when I made this one, I thought, will I get the same feeling making another one? Because the circumstances of me making this and crocheting a lot of these squares, and you know, that circumstance is no longer possible. You know, I was sat next to Dan basically when I told you all this. I was sat next to Dan when I was crocheting a lot of these squares. And I thought I won't be able to bring back those feelings. But you know what? I thought about it for quite some time, and then I just thought, well, I'm just going to give it a try, because I really want to make another. And what I really want to do, and I'm going to do this, because the other thing, right, is I'm still not used to making decisions by myself and just thinking, I want to do that thing, but I'll talk to Dan about it first, and then I'll think about it, and then I'll talk to him again about it, and you know, and now I can just think I want to do that thing, and I can just do it, and that still feels really weird. But in this instance, I just thought, well, I know what he would say. He would just say, if it's bringing you joy, then do it. So I'm making another. And what I really wanted to do, let me put my cushion, I just love it. I'll put my cushion down there. I love this side too. The two sides are different. And this is something that I'm going to play with even more in this one that I'm making now. But I love that the two sides are different. This one is more me with the pinks, and this one is very definitely the Dan side. So yeah, what I really wanted to do was use all row 1 yarn for this, but I didn't actually have enough. So I've resubscribed to Laura's club. That was the first thing I did. I thought, right, I'm going to resubscribe to her club immediately. So I've done that. But then I remembered that I'd actually got 2 of her clubs that were supposed to be used for prizes for the make-along, I should say, that didn't happen in January, unfortunately, the Jelly Roll January, that just couldn't happen. I'd still got those 2 kits from then, and I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to ask Laura if she would mind if I just use these for this project. And I knew she would say just use them because we've had conversations before. But I thought, well, I want to check with her. So I sent her an email. She sent me a lovely email back. She's such a lovely person, saying, for goodness sake, you know, just use them for whatever you want to use them. So I was just like, oh, thank you so much. I can go and open them now and choose the colours, and oh, it's just so lovely. And I think because a lot of the feeling in the first cushion was just that process of going through all those little nuggets of yarn and deciding which one to use next, and they're really easy to manage. Let me show you one of them. I think you all know Row 1 yarn, don't you? They come in the little 10 gram skeins, I suppose, all ready for you to use. So I'm using them doubled, but all I need to do is just wind off half of it and then I hold them double. It takes me like 2 minutes to do that, so there's no prep really involved in it. If it was a skein that was twisted, you know, that you had to unfurl and wind, that would take longer. But because these are so convenient, that was another thing that appealed to me, I think, in using the Row 1 yarn. And also, you never know what you're going to get, do you? It's always a surprise each time, and that's just fun. So yeah, I wanted to use all of Row 1 yarn, so that's what I'm doing. Because each of these squares is 10 grams. It's just under 10 grams actually, depending on the base, because there's a couple of different bases in this. But the standard 75-25 base, you do have a tiny bit left. And it's 5 rounds and it's held double. And what I really wanted to do with this as well is I wanted to write up the pattern. And I know this is just a simple granny square cushion, and there's probably a million patterns out there, a million free tutorials out there for working up granny squares and then joining as you go. But I've never done it before. You know, there isn't a pattern out there that I've done before, and I just thought it to make the most perfect beginner project. You can use leftovers, obviously. It's the perfect thing for leftovers, advent calendars, all of those things. So I am going to write up the pattern, and I'm going to put in the pattern a full set of video tutorials for how to make this. So if you are a beginner crocheter, then I think it would be a great place to start. Or if, I don't know, I mean, maybe you just want to see how I do it, because I make my squares, I think, slightly differently. And I mean, I do join as you go. I don't know whether it's the same way someone else would do join as you go, all of those kinds of things. So long waffle to say that I am going to do that because I really want to do that. So I am going to write up this pattern. I'm going to put in all of the video tutorials, and yeah, it's going to be a bit of a process. That's going to take some time. All of that will take some time. But I wanted to let you know what my plan was. So I've started another one. So I asked Bryony about this, and she said she would like one on her bed here at home. So what I'm going to do, and I asked her about colours, and she wanted blues, purples, greens. But do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have one side which is all of the colours that she said she wanted. And then the other side, I'm going to do it because she loves autumn and Halloween and all of that. The other side, I'm going to have all the autumnal and Halloweeny colours, so that she can have one side facing for the spring and summer, and then flip it around and have the other side facing for like all of the autumn months. I thought, what, is that not like brilliant? So I've started, and I've got 4 squares so far. Oh, and I love it as much as I did when I made the first one. It's a weird thing, because I thought, am I going to feel the same? These are not the same circumstances. But I don't know, it's like it's because it's the same process, same yarn, same process. I feel like I've transferred those feelings into the new one. and I'm just loving it. So I've only got 4 squares. I only started this yesterday, I think it was yesterday, but I just love these colours so far. So we've got greens, blues and purples, which is what Bryony said she wanted on one side. So what I did was I got the 2 kits from Laura and I tipped them all out. So there's 10 minis in each one. So there's 100 grams in each one. Tipped them all out and I picked out all of the ones that would be relevant to, you know, to fit in with this colour scheme. And actually loads of them did. So I've put them all in here. A rogue pink got in. I might have to put in a rogue pink, but maybe I'll save that for the Halloweeny side, for the autumnal side. I'm definitely going to have to put in this pink square somewhere within it because that's mum, isn't it? And Bryony will look at it and go, I can tell you've made this because there's a little pink square in there for you. So that's why I've put that one in there. But yeah, they're all in here. And I've got everything in here I need. This bag is the perfect size. So I've got a little pair of scissors. I've got my darning needle, crochet hook, 4mm. I like the, what are these? Clover Amore. Couldn't think then. Amore. And I've also got my little weighing scales, just so that I can split the ball, the skein, whatever it is. So I've got everything in here. I was going to show you inside the bag. Look. There's actually loads. I mean, the cushion has 40 squares altogether. So there's 20 on one side, 20 on the other. So I've got plenty in here to make that first side. I took out all of the ones that didn't fit in with that scheme, and I've kept those separate, so they're all back in one of Laura's bags. So there are some lovely autumnal colours in here, but then I'll wait and see what comes next as well when the next club arrives, or kit arrives. I'm not sure if she calls it a club or a kit, I'm not sure. But there's some lovely ones in here. We've got, what are these from? At Haynes House Yarn, and I think there was also Red Stag, Froggy Yarns, Red Stag Fibres. I think that's the 3 that are in here. Just lovely. So yeah, I'm just working my way through, and I did myself a little schematic, I suppose, as well. That's just the shape of it. It's like 40 squares with a line down the middle, so I know where it's going to fold. And I'm using that as a kind of tick list. So, because you can actually place these wherever you want. You know, this could be in the middle and you work out, or this could be in the corner and you're working down. You can put them wherever you want. So I could now join a square anywhere around here and it would be fine. But I thought if I've got a little schematic, I can kind of colour it in as I go so that I can keep track of where I am, so that I don't accidentally, you know, go too far and put like a blue one on a spot that's going to be on the other side that I want to look more autumnal. And then I want to do another one after I've done this one, and I want it to be a Christmas cushion. Oh my gosh. So as I get these kits from Laura, as they come through, any that look really festive, you know, reds, greens, golds, silver, all of those sorts of colours, maybe a bit of pink, I will put those to one side for the next one that I want to do, which is a festive one. Can you tell my excitement? And what I've been doing as well, there's a teeny bit left from each square. So I've got one of Laura's bags here, and this is so cute, what you can do with the leftovers. So look, there's 2 little balls of leftovers, and I've been tucking them back into the little ball band. Like, how cute is that? Because what it also means is that I know which yarn is which, and it keeps them all tidy. So I've got 4 here, look. I can't show you in any sensible way, but look. Oh, I'm going to drop them. And do you know what I think I'm going to do with these? I'm going to make some scrappy socks, because I don't know how far each one of these little bits would go, but they're already in 2 bits. So I could have a pair of scrappy socks on the go, couldn't I? And then whenever I finish a square, I could knit the extra bits into the sock. Oh my gosh, I'm going to start that today. I'm going to start that. I need to do that. You see, should I have cuffs, heels and toes as one colour and then the rest of the sock as the bits? I think that's what I might want to do. So maybe I'll go through my stash. I'll choose like a neutral colour for cuffs, heels and toes, and I'll get those on the needles. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited by this. So this, you know, it's just bringing me a lot of joy and a lot of peace, I suppose. Not a lot of peace. I'm lying. It's not a lot. But it's bringing me little bits of peace. And do you know what? I'll take that. Yeah. So that's my plan for this. And I've already got a name for it. I'm not going to tell you what that is, because the pattern coming out will be some way down the line. At the moment, I'm just enjoying making it. But I'll keep you posted on how that goes. And I love how the squares look. I need to stop going on. I need to stop going on about this, don't I? I'll just say one more thing. I love how the squares look because I make them in such a way that makes them a bit denser. And that just works brilliantly well for the cushion. But also, you could use this technique and make a great big blanket. Let's face it, could you not? And wouldn't this be a brilliant Advent project? Because you've only got to crochet one of these squares a day, haven't you, really? You'd have loads of leftovers if it's a 20 gram, or if you're using 10 gram minis, perfect. And yeah, you could make a blanket. But I really like the denseness of it. And that transfers really well to it being a cushion, because it kind of holds together really well. It's not gappy, you know, it's a nice solid thing. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stop talking about that now. But I really hope you all enjoyed watching me make the project bag, and I've now got this special project bag with this really special project inside. Right, it's time now. Very sadly, we've reached that point. It's time for Endy Bits. Now, I've got a couple of things to show you actually today. The first one is the other bag that I bought from that shop I mentioned. This one is more of a very bright print and makes me think of Dan a lot, actually. We've got the Minster on there, Clifford's Tower, the Shambles, Walmgate Bar. There's St Mary's Abbey where we filmed, Micklegate Bar. Yeah, lovely. So it's this one. And then down on the bottom there, look, there's a Viking ship on the river. It's so cute. So yeah, I'm sure I will use this for another project at some point, but I just loved the print and wanted to have it. So we've got that. And then I've got a couple of books actually. Bryony and I went into Criminally Good Books, which is one of her favourite bookshops in York, but she's not been in there for ages, she said. So it was really good to go in. And I picked up 2 books. Oh gosh. And they're both hardbacks. I'm a disaster. But I had good reason. I also picked up something else. I'll show you that first. We went upstairs in there, and I've never been upstairs before. And upstairs in that bookshop, if you've never been, it's got the more sort of YA books, I think, and also the kind of true crime type books as well, some quite scary ones up there. But also I saw on this little cabinet there was a load of embroidery kits, all by the same company. It's called Little Wolf Designs, and they're based in York, it says. And I picked this one up to make for Bryony. It's a mushroom, it's a fly agaric mushroom. And you've got everything in there. Hang on, the price tag stuck right in the middle of the... Right, I tried to get the price tag off, but it's a terrible sticky one. It won't come off. But you get everything in there you need. And it's only tiny, look. So you've got the little hoop and then the threads and the chart. It's just a tiny little embroidery. And I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to get that because Bryony loves mushroomy things. Very light, to her, it's very autumnal and all of those sorts of feelings. So I thought I will do that. I will stitch it for her and I'll either put it into this little hoop and she can just hang it somewhere in her room, or I might make it into a little bag for her, maybe a little makeup bag or something. So yeah, I picked that up, which is lovely. And the two books, one of them I'm reading and I'm absolutely loving. So this is that one. I've shown this actually on, I think on an Instagram post and also definitely in the Facebook group, in our Bakery Bears Facebook group. I'm so enjoying this. So it's called The Beasts of the Black Lock by Gay Maris. And it's a murder mystery thing, because the bookshop, as you probably gather from the name, it's a crime-based bookshop. So all of the books in there, in some way, shape or form, they're all kind of crime, from sort of the cosy crime, from more sort of YA type books, all the way up to the sort of serious, like, true crime stuff. But most of it is... you know, very readable crime. And this one I would say, well, it is, because I started it, it's very readable indeed. And it's written it's not written in the 1970s, it's set in the 1970s in this kind of Scottish country estate. And yeah, a murder is going to take place. It hasn't happened yet. And I'm just I've just got to know all of the characters and I'm like, oh gosh, I hope it's not that person who dies. I hope it's not that person. So I can't wait to see who it is who gets bumped off. And yeah, I'm just loving it. It's written really well. It feels like the 1970s, the way that it's been written. It's just got that, you know, just the references and things. It feels like that era, which is right in my, you know, right in my zone. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm only on, well, you can see where I am there. I think I'm on like chapter 8 or 9, something like that. And I've just been reading a chapter or so a night because I'm enjoying it so much, I'm kind of savouring it. But if you like that kind of, you know, murder mystery type books, I would say you would really enjoy this. And I'm really loving it. And then the other one I picked up, I couldn't resist this because this is the second book in a series, and in our Bakery Bears book club we just read the first one. I say just, it's a month or two ago now, but we read the first one and I loved it, and I would say on the whole we all loved it. And the new one came out, and this is a signed one. Oh gosh, this one's also signed. Let me show you, because the author, I didn't tell you, but the author of this one, Gay Maris, she's a research scientist, and her focus is on insect ecology. So she signed it and it's just brilliant. She's drawn a picture of like this cute little bug, look. And I love that. But this one's also signed. So it's Murder at the Spirit Lounge by Jess Kidd. And it's got sprayed edges with a candle and a cat. And this one's also signed. I couldn't find the signature. And she signed it in such a strange place. I mean, normally, like the one I've just shown you, it would be here, wouldn't it? No, it's not. It's on the inside of the actual... It's here, look. But that's kind of cool. It's sort of hidden under the loose leaf cover. What's that called? Just check it, whatever that's called. So yeah, I got this one as well because I might read this one more towards the end of the year, because I think when it starts off, I think I used to say I don't read seasonably. Seasonably, yes, that's the word, isn't it? But actually, this one starts in December. Yeah, on the first 2 lines it references that it's December, so I really feel like I need to start reading this in December maybe. But yeah, excited to read that one as well. So there we go then. I think that's me this time. I hope you enjoyed watching the project bag making and listening to me waffle on about all of my lovely projects this time. I've had a really nice time sat here talking to you. So let's see how long this one is, shall we? Do you know, like last time I said, didn't I, that it felt really long, and I think it just slipped over 2 hours. But you all said, go as long as you want, we don't mind. So we shall see. I'm going to get to the editing this afternoon. So have a lovely rest of your day today and enjoy the next couple of weeks, and I will see you all back really soon.